Hi there, and welcome to this episode of the Guns Magazine podcast. I'm your host and the editor of Guns Magazine, Brent Wheat. We've got kind of a two-parter. Last week we talked to Suzi Huntington about her time on the beach patrol, and while we were recording that, we decided, hey, let's talk to Suzi about what she carries. That's one of the most common questions we get from our viewers and readers, so we put Suzi on the spot, and she told us how she carries her guns. So we'll get to that in just a second, but first, a word from our great sponsor, 4 Patriots. Prepare for those just-in-case situations with delicious and long-lasting emergency food kits from 4 Patriots. These survival meals will give your family the energy they need to get through any emergency. Their survival food kits are a great combination of taste and shelf life, making them perfect for any situation. And as a special offer to the Guns Magazine podcast audience, if you go to 4patriots.com/gunmag, you'll get weekly special deals and discounts. That's 4patriots.com/gunmag. Well, hello again, Suzi.
Hello, Brent.
Well, this is a twofer. We just recorded a podcast, and we were getting ready to sign off, and Roy, your husband, suggested something. We've gotten requests for this before, and we thought, well, let's just hit record again and get this thing knocked out. So today we're going to kind of a continuation of a series we've done here on the podcast where we talk to some of our different guests and say, so what are you carrying? Because that's the thing we hear, probably one of the most common questions. And, you know, gun writers have a certain persona of, we say do this and do that, but readers really like to know, what do you actually carry day to day and why and how? So, Suzi, being you are a girl, Suzi. So, unlike most of
thank you for noticing.
Like most of us old white guys who are comprise the majority of our writers here. So, figure you.
So I'm the old white girl.
Well, you're younger, so you're just what, 29 now. So.
Thank you. Don't lie.
Hey, I've learned how to work that, okay?
60.
No. Oh, gee. Well, hey, it's, you know, you're a very well-preserved 60. So, but
thank you.
Be that as it may, since you are a woman, and as we've discussed many times, women have different hills and valleys and a different experience carrying guns. So let's talk now, Suzi. So, okay. We're all going to go out to eat at that Chinese restaurant that shorted me last time we were there, and then felt the wrath of Suzi. So, what?
I remember that.
Oh yeah, and I appreciate you taking care of it for me. But so, what are you going to strap on when we're headed out the door?
Are you allowed to say that? What, strap on? You can't say that. You know it means something completely different there, Brent.
As soon as I said it.
Uh-huh. I gotcha.
Okay, what
I'm
gun
fast.
do you...
I'm old, but I'm fast.
Like a marsupial.
So my usual gun is a Hellcat in 9mm. And I generally do not carry on my body at this point, because more often than not, I will have my purse with me. And I carry it in my purse. And I know that I'm going to get hate mail for this, but I generally do not carry it in a holster in my purse. And it's not even a gun purse, per se. Oh. It is a 3-slotted coach purse. So there's 3 separate compartments. And it's in its own little compartment all by itself. And it sits on its head on the slide. So all I have to do is reach in, grab it, and I'm out. Now, why do I carry it that way? Because that's the way I've been carrying a gun in a bag of any kind since I was a little baby cop. I used to carry a Mount Everest, if you remember. They made the fanny packs before everybody came out with their gun fanny packs, waist packs, big things.
Yep.
I carried my full-size SIG P226 in my Mount Everest fanny pack. Not in a holster.
Well, I think, again, being honest,
I'm practiced.
Well, yeah. But I would say, being honest, for every woman gun writer that says, well, yes, I carry an inside the waistband, most of them don't. Most of them carry in their purse off body. So that's the way most ladies are doing it. So your thoughts on carrying off body like that, and some considerations, because that's probably the biggest problem I see with less experienced women shooters is they carry in the purse, that's fine, but they're not really practiced. They haven't really worked through the idea of actually pulling the gun and having to go to work with it. So what are some of the considerations that you would tell ladies that are carrying off body?
So if you're going to carry off body, I am not disparaging holster purses or specific gun purses. If you carry one and that's the way you like it, fine, great. I personally have not liked to rake my hand either with a very aggressive zipper or with the hook and loop, because almost always you're going to get the hook part, which is it hurts raking your hand in there. And I realize, yes, if you have an adrenaline dump, you're probably not going to feel it. I got it. It's not the way I like to carry. Mostly, I have discovered I just don't like the styling of most of those purses. I find them heavy and onerous. Now, I have tried several. I've also shot through a gun purse, a very expensive one at that I paid my own good money for. But it was to show, if you have to, you can shoot through the purse. You're best to be using a revolver versus a semi-auto, because you're hard pressed to get that slide to function properly. You will end up with a jam. You have one shot and then you're done. You better pull that gun out and clear your jam and beat feet or re-engage. But I don't like gun purses per se. And so that's why I decided years and years ago to carry a purse that had 2 or 3 separate slots, and the gun goes in its own. So I can't accidentally get something stuck in the trigger guard. I can't get a chapstick or a lipstick or mascara, a pen stuck in the trigger guard. So it's always on its own. And so because I'm practiced that way, that's how I like to carry. And I can carry either revolver or semi-auto.
Yeah. Well, keeping with this theme of, I do think most ladies carry purse in their day-to-day life, or a purse, something like that in their day-to-day life. If they do carry, what would you tell a woman that says to you, well, yeah, I took this training and either the instructor or my husband said I really need to carry it on my body, around my waist or something. What would you tell her how to respond to that?
Okay, so every woman's shape is different. I have been fortunate. I have a small waist, and my hips are proportionate. Here's the problem with many holsters that you either have to wear on a belt or tucked in to the waist. I call absolute shenanigans on these people that say, you can't see that I've got a gun in my pants. Bull. No, you can. You can always see that it's there. It's always printing. They're profoundly uncomfortable. And I understand the concept that your gun is not supposed to be comfortable. It's supposed to be comforting. And I get that. But if you're going to have it appendix carry, or God forbid you are silly enough to wear a flashbang pointing up at your chin through your boobs, there's just, first of all, flashbang, that your bra is no longer a bra anymore. It's not going to do you any good. As far as on body, they all have their limitations. They all have issues as far as you're going to have a bruised hip bone area. It was not unusual if I'd gone on vacation and then I went back out in the field and put my gun belt back on, my right hip had a bruise on it for a while I was getting all of that broken back in again. So they have issues. If you're wearing a gun on your strong side, got to wear a jacket. Well, what if it's hot? Got to leave your jacket on. If it's a typical woman's jacket, it might be tailored a little bit differently than a men's jacket. So again, you're dealing with printing issues. Are you practicing moving your jacket back out of the way? Every method that a woman can carry, she's got to practice, period. Doesn't matter. I practice with a gun on my waist, on the strong side, and moving a jacket out of the way. But I don't like being locked into a jacket.
Well, moving to the
purses.
Moving to
go ahead.
To the gun itself. You are of a certain age, as I said before. I think you're 29 now, and I've become an evangelist for optics. Are you carrying optics, or your peepers are still intact enough you don't feel the need?
No, I definitely, I am in the I wear my glasses all the time crowd. And interestingly enough, so I wear bifocals. And I actually should probably wear trifocals because I need to be able to see distance. I've always worn glasses for distance. And I need computer dashboard sights distance because the dashboard and my computer are about the same distance. And if I'm holding my gun up, that's a sweet spot if I get that prescription filled. And then I have reading glasses, actually crafting glasses, because I've started to do bench work, jewelry. So I like to do things up close. But my shooting glasses, I got specially designed. Now, if I'm going to go shoot on the range or something like that, my shooting glasses actually have the bifocal up top. So my bottoms will be distance, the up top will be the shooting glasses. And the reason for that, I discovered that if I had regular bifocals, as I was trying to move my head back to pick up my sights in the bifocal, everything rocked back. And I was doing this. So I was coming right off target. So there's a company in Colorado, their name escapes me. They're wonderful people. They flipped it. They put the bifocal, the shooting distance on top. So now I just lower my head. And please tell me, why is it that I can lower my head and stay on target, but I can't do this? It doesn't make sense, but that works. Okay, so now get back to, are you using just sights or optics? My regular glasses are going to have the bifocal flipped again. So I'm giving up a bit of my sight in order to pick up my sights through a traditional pair of glasses. So I always have to remember that. Always. Because I can't go with my bifocal on top. I would look stupid. So I know I don't use optics. I'm not a red dot girl. I have tried a variety of sights. Like Excess Sights has a pretty big lollipop that you put in the valley. Love those. I can pick up the big lollipop easily. So if women have an issue with their eyesight, they have to bear in mind a couple other things aside from where's my gun. Got to be able to see my sights. And then, if you have optics, but what if the battery's dead? You got to go back. to iron sights. So that's just me. I'm a Luddite.
Well, what about reloads? You carry reloads in your purse?
Yes.
You can carry a bunch.
I carry a spare magazine in my purse. I don't feel the need to carry more than that because I figure I'm not going to be hanging around long enough. It's not like when I was in law enforcement, I wanted to have as many reloads as I could have with me because who knows how long I'm going to be in this gun battle. Preferably, of course, I would like to have a long gun. But no, I carry one spare magazine. It's in the same place that the gun is. So it's one-stop shopping.
Perfect. Well, in conclusion, sitting here thinking about it, and again, I've trained a number of women, and we've talked about this a lot. There is such a male bias in the shooting world that, I think we're finally beginning to understand that ladies have different requirements. But don't you feel like this whole idea of where to carry the gun may be one of the things that are stopping women? I will say, in the case of my own wife, Miss Shirley, that's one of the things that prevents her from carrying a gun day to day, because she's the same. She doesn't like carrying. I've not gotten her a good gun purse that she likes, and she's uncomfortable carrying on body, so she doesn't carry very often, even though she's qualified to. So wouldn't you say that that's probably the biggest problem for women?
I say yes, where to carry their gun is a huge issue. Some people are much more adept at wearing on body. I've never mastered it. So I would just as soon. Now, if I'm running around in, at gun sight or any other shooting school, I'm all outfitted like everybody else. I have my shooting belt on and it's out there for the world to see. But that doesn't translate into my daily activities. And even though I live in a state where open carry is allowed, I don't want to do that. I just think it's silly. That's my personal opinion. So I will carry it in my purse. But there's all these different ways I could carry it. And I've had many people, it's a little bit like when you tell somebody that, oh, this thing hurts, and they all have an opinion on what you need to do to fix it, right? So options for carrying your gun as a woman are there's a million of them. And just because it works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So the only way you're going to know where to carry is by trying it and practicing it. I would recommend to Shirley, if she wants to carry a purse, try a multi-slotted purse. And then the one slot becomes your gun bag.
Yep.
I don't know.
Well, I guess maybe
she can certainly try it here.
Yes. Maybe that's what we need to do next time we come out. We'll have a little class, and actually, I've heard of the demonstration. I've never seen one where somebody actually fired through the purse to demonstrate that it can be a thing, especially with a revolver. But that I think we need to get some video on that. So that would be pretty fascinating. But
we did do a video, if I recall correctly. It was a purple backpack type purse. And I want to say we did a video for the magazines. So it is floating out there somewhere. Okay. We'll have to research it and find it.
Well, that must have been back when I was a wee lad before I came to the illustrious FMG company. So
yes, it was before your time.
Before my time. So, well, Suzi, I appreciate you running down your carry guns and some thoughts for women. Any parting thoughts here at the end?
Just carry something. I carry a 9mm, but I've always shot a 9mm. Actually, right now, as I'm recovering from my shoulder, I'm carrying a little Charter Arms 32. And I have to carry it, make it easy for my left hand because it's my dominant shoulder that got surgered. So just carry something, but be comfortable and confident with it.
That you summarized it perfectly. So, Well, Suzi, thank you for taking time to discuss the ins and outs of what you carry, and hopefully that's given some folks, especially maybe some women listeners, some better ideas on how they can start carrying. Because in the end, it's what we always say, the first rule of a gunfight.
Carry it. Have the gun.
Yeah, exactly. Suzi Huntington, thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Brent.
It's always fun to talk to Suzi Huntington, and it's pretty fascinating to hear her take on how to carry a gun as a woman. Hopefully you learned something, whether you are a guy or a gal. Well, before we go, I'd like to remind you, please check out our great sponsor, 4 Patriots, for all your preparedness supplies and needs. If you go to their website, 4patriots.com, type in /gunmag, you can see all the latest deals and discounts exclusively for the Guns Magazine podcast audience. That's the number 4, the word patriots.com, type in /gunmag. Well, that's it for this episode of the Guns Magazine podcast. On behalf of all my co-workers here at FMG Publications, I'm Guns Magazine editor Brent Wheat, reminding you, now get out there and get shooting.